Prying Eyes by Mack D. Chapter 4. Digging Up a Forgotten Past. Morning comes the next day, unwarranted and unwanted. You roll about to look towards your bedroom window. The light burns your eyes as if you were a vampiric descendant. You turn, stuffing your face into your pillow as you do. Looking to your clock on your desk, it reads 9:02 a.m. You're late for class. You're never late for class. Breakfast and morning announcements, yes, but never class. Why didn't your alarm go off? Grazing your head with your fingertips, you wrench in pain. Ah, fuck, you say quietly while sounding similar to a snake in tone. Checking your fingers, you notice no new blood. It must be scabbed by now, but that didn't stop the pain. You bring yourself to your feet. In the zombie fashion, you walk towards your desk. Opening the top left drawer, you grab your bottle of blue tablets. Pausing for a moment, while observing your bottle closely, you start to wonder. I didn't take my medication last night, did I? Is that why all that happened at the cemetery? Is that why you were hearing that voice? It would explain that, that's for sure. Yet what about the man? You've never hallucinated objects or people before. Sure, you may get paranoid sometimes, sure. As far as voices go, you've only ever heard strange voices in or around home. The doctor says it's because it's stress brought on by family household trauma. This would be the first time it's happened outside of home. So either you're getting worse and becoming more crazy, or what happened last night was real. You look again at the bottle of blue pills in your hand. It's been a long time since you hadn't taken your pills. You always thought something bad would happen, like you'd freak out on mom one day and get sent to the nut ward. There's also no telling if what happened last night was real or not. The doctor did say it'd be hard to separate fact from fiction. You didn't think it'd be quite like this, but you decided you were not taking them. At least not yet. You know, they didn't hurt you. However, do you need them? You were going to find out. And you were going to find out more about what happened the night before. Slamming the bottle in the top left drawer, you then proceed to get dressed for the day. You chose to dress in the darkest clothes you had. For today, you were going to do some thorough, deep digging. The dirt was now there before you. You were ready to get your hands dirty. Dust covered most of the town library. It had been a long time since you had last been to this library, let alone in any library at that. Memories of you coming in to pick up the latest R.L. Stine book fluttered the thought. As if butterflies, flapping their wings to ascend, so does your thoughts. The time spent here. The joy brought from reading such books only compared to that of its thrills and scares as well. The vivid haze of your daydreams simmers away as if water on a skillet. You scan through the dates of the obituaries had marked on the side of their bindings. You work your way right, observing each dated year quickly but thoroughly. 1966. No, that wasn't it. The date on the headstone had read 1968. It doesn't take you too horribly long to find what you were looking for. The book you held was one of 4 for that year. They had it categorized by month, sectioning 3 months of each year into seasons. The one you held read Summer Losses of 1968. This correlated with the others, yet with the obvious distinctiveness of season depicted in the titles. Clutching the book in your arms, your hands grow clammy with excitement. The dust from the book sticks to your now sweaty hands. Once you were finished, Checking out your book at the library, you head for the nearby park, half a block in distance away. You stop at a gazebo. It was separated from the rest of the park by the road it had resided on. You could be alone here. You sit, making no hesitation in opening that old book. What you find doesn't leave you too surprised. News clippings faded from time showed all the deaths recorded from the summer of 1968. Flinging through the pages, they suddenly get easier to turn, with each page. That is, until you get to a lost bend in the binding. There was a page gone. The name you were looking for was on that page. Who would rip out a page from the obituary logs? Especially one from so long ago. Maybe it was a friend or family member who did it. You definitely know what it's like. Once someone you love is gone, all you really have are pictures and memories. Attempting at looking further for more information, you were stopped by a sudden voice. "So what you reading these days?" You lift your head to see a familiar face. There stood Scarlet. She was clutching what looked to be a copy of Stephen King's Joyland. Almost as if forgetting how to talk, you finally clear your throat and answer back. "Just a project I'm working on. What do you got there?" You motion towards her novel as though to change the subject. "Looks like you still found time to read. Good taste, I'll give you that," you stated, as you look to your hands, while also notably beginning to pick your fingernails. She steps forward and places herself down on the bench next to you. "I never did get to say sorry. I know what you must think of me, but I really am sorry, kid." It's funny how she always called you kid. Pretty sure you were older than she is. Still, she always calls people kid, especially with you. You don't know why it was so comforting, but the way she said it was always so warm and contained with a chuckle. To her, you'd never admit it. Even to yourself, you wouldn't admit it. But in that moment there, with her, it's almost like everything stirred back at once, if only for a speck of a moment. "Why weren't you there for me? My dad died, and you thought what? I just needed space?" You say in a soft yet clear tone. You sigh. As Scarlet looks away for a moment to gather her thoughts. "That's the thing. I did. I thought maybe with a little more time you'd go back to, well, you. You didn't, though. But I guess I want to get to know you again. That is, if that's all right with you." She states this as if a question, but you only know it to be more of a true, soft, self-induced invitation. She leans into your ear, her breath toward your neck. "I never forgot, you know." A wrapper crinkles gently as she places something onto your lap. Upon the book you held, removing her hand from its placed position, there it was. You could have guessed. How could she ever forget? There sat a peanut butter cup. You look to her, a tear almost breaking from the prison that became of your tear ducts. I guess you didn't, did you? You slide the candy in your left pocket, opposite in which of she sat. "I should go. Got a lot to catch up on my project." You say this as you go to stand with the library book cradled in your left hand. As you do this, it leaves your other hand weak for the grasp of another's. Barely clutching, but yet at the same time firmly grasping your hand, she then pleaded, "Can I help? I know it's not for school. You weren't there today." She didn't even ask why you weren't there. Obviously, she must have some sort of guilt weighing on her mind. She definitely noticed your head from the night before. She would glance at it every so often. Maybe that's why, lowering your brow, you think yet for another moment. A light flashes of memories containing of what becomes within your mind sights. Sure, numbers the same, but before you could continue with another sentence, she peered in her statement. Well, what you doing now? Why don't we go work on it now? Again, she asked this while walking beside you, yet in reality, following you. You decided not to fight her as you continued walking. You only reply back, if you're interested, I'm going to go home and probably stuff my face. You laugh humorously, snorting as you do, grinning wide enough for the world to see. She then snickered back playfully. Cool, I guess. I guess that means you're cooking for two tonight, aren't you?